We humans have an infinite ability to hope. We have hopes for our futures. As children, we want to grow up to become teachers, nurses, firefighters, ballerins, engineers, auto mechanics, architects, fashionistas, and whatnot. We hope to find the right life partner, perhaps the proverbial soulmate, and to raise biological or adopted children in a loving family. We hope for a peaceful, loving, and just world for all people. But in pursuit of our hopes, we also face the challenges of life. In high school, I knew that I wanted to become a priest or a teacher, or maybe both. So in college, I studied to become a high school teacher. And during my first attempt at seminary, I realized that I didn't and I couldn't believe in many teachings of Christianity. I also came out during seminary. In spite of my hopes to serve the ministry, I could no longer pursue that path as a Roman Catholic. I eventually found another way of living out that hope. Many of you have hopes for yourselves, for your friends, for your families, for your children, for your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. We also have hopes for our society and our world. You might recall that President Thomas Jefferson attended but did not join a Unitarian congregation. And he had a very broad hope for the fledgling United States. I confidently expect that the present generation will see Unitarianism become the general religion in the United States. He said many times in many different ways. This was not a fleeting idea that he had. And Hank, where are you? Hank, thank you for posting that to Facebook this week. I had forgotten about that. As Unitarian Universalists, we hope for just peace on earth, especially during the holiday season. But here, as we come upon the holidays, many Americans are struggling to find hope today. So many people cannot make ends meet in our own country. And we are appalled at the inhumane and illegal atrocities undertaken by our regime at home, abroad, and on the high seas. And across the world, there are many places where warfare rages. Earlier this week, or last week already, I attended an informational meeting organized by St. Paul's Episcopal Church here in Brighton with MIRA, the Movement for Immigrant Rights Action. MIRA means look in Spanish. MIRA documents human rights abuses of immigrants, and it has widely documented the brutal and inhumane treatment of immigrants, perceived immigrants, and U.S. citizens right here in Michigan, as close as Detroit and Wayne County and Washtenaw County. MIRA is asking the Brighton churches to start a task force here in Livingston County to continue MIRA's work in this county where ICE and border protection raids and abuses are already taking place. It's no wonder that there's this quote from Anne Frank that's going around social media again and again and again recently. Terrible things are happening outside. Poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are torn apart. Men, women, and children are separated. Children come home from school to find that their parents have disappeared. How can we hold on to hope in such moments? This week, the president of our Unitarian Universalist Association, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, wrote about hope in her holiday letter. Let us remind one another through our religious practice of worship, action in the streets, feeding our neighbors, singing with children, and educating one another of the hope that is among us in community and of the opportunity at the turning of the year to begin again anew. And she concludes, we're not waiting passively on some miracle, beloveds. We are working together for our shared values. May those values be a guiding light for this season. And this past week, the Nobel laureate Maria Corina Machado received the Nobel Peace Prize. She radiates hope for the Venezuelan people. They suffer greatly under an oppressive dictatorship with electoral fraud, human rights abuses, rampant corruption, cronyism, and severe economic hardship. That regime also tries to stamp out hope by censoring the media and brutally persecuting dissidents like Maria. The Venezuelans have kept hope alive. In spite of the repressions, Maria tirelessly promotes, and I quote, democratic rights for the people of Venezuela to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy, end quote. It is for those reasons that she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize of the year and not someone else.
Who wanted it?
As thank you for your commentary.
Sorry.
That's okay. I didn't rehearse this as a duet, but go ahead. As Americans, we seek to do the same in our own United States. So one thing that I do is probably every week I write a letter, the same letter essentially, maybe with a little bit rehashed, to both our US senators and our representative in Congress. And in these letters, I asked them, all three of them, the exact same question week after week. What are they and the US Congress doing to protect our United States from the inhumane, unconstitutional lawlessness rampant in our country today? I do this because they need to hear from us to know that we are not standing idly by and not accepting what's going on. We are watching what they are doing. Mira, look, watch. Hope is part of our shared Unitarian Universalist values. Centered in love, we cultivate a spirit of generosity and gratitude. And one of the ways that we express generosity and gratitude is through hope. And that value is expressed in our shared values. As Unitarian Universalists, we have a shared hope that the world we live in will be one that is filled with love and justice for all people, where we work together with each other to make sure that everyone has their needs met, where everyone receives a living wage, where everyone has affordable housing, where everyone has the health care that they need, where no one is suffering the cold and the lack of food in this season and in this weather emergency. We hope for a world where all peoples live in peace with each other and find ways of reconciling their differences through right relationships. We also seek to tread lightly on our Mother Earth, thus reducing our carbon footprint on her. We believe in peace through justice. That is our hope, our faith-filled hope for our world. And as Unitarian Universalists, we explicitly reject the false notion of peace through strength. That's Orwellian doublethink. Peace through strength means nothing more than occupation, repression, and oppression. There is no peace found in that. As United Statesians, we also have hope for democracy and freedom in our country. Our country is and has always been a multi-ethnic, a multiracial, a multilingual, a multi-religious nation of diverse peoples and cultures from all over the world. That makes our United States unique among the countries of the world. And admittedly, we have struggled at times and are struggling today to live in right relationship with each other in our own country. That is our hope for our United States. Now, the ancient Maccabees, they echo a similar legacy of hope, a legacy that the holiday of Hanukkah reminds us about the hope that is possible in the world. The Maccabees were a Jewish group who led a successful revolt in the 2nd century before the Common Era. The Greek Seleucid Empire had occupied Palestine and Judea, and their story is recorded in the apocryphal scrolls of 1st and 2nd Maccabees. They're not included in the Jewish or the Protestant Bibles, but the Catholics and the Orthodox include them in their Bibles, those books in their Bibles. So there's one extremely anti-Semitic Greek ruler, Antiochus IV Epiphanes, who severely oppressed the Jews. He forced Hellenization on them. He banned Jewish practices like circumcision, observing the Sabbath, kosher, Jewish holidays like Passover and others, and he also banned Torah study. He had copies of the Torah burned. He desecrated the Jerusalem temple and installed a statue of Zeus in it. And he forced the Jews to worship the Greek gods. The oppressed Jews could not take it anymore. They hoped for freedom of religion. They hoped for political autonomy. And so against all odds, that phrase is repeated at Hanukkah over and over again. This band, this Jewish band of dedicated, faith-filled, inspired, hopeful Maccabees were able to throw off the yoke of Greek oppression in Jerusalem and liberate their temple. It was a miracle. And against all odds in our own world today, Ukrainians, led by their secular Jewish president Volodymyr Zelensky, have defended themselves against Russian invasion and occupation for 4 whole years. Ukrainians hope to live as a free people in their own free country. Likewise, the Palestinians hope for liberation of their Palestinian homeland from war, occupation, and repression. And the Jews hope to live in peace in their country with their neighbors. So Jews celebrate Hanukkah with the greeting, and I'm going to butcher this, I'm sorry, Nes Gadol Hayasham, a great miracle happened here. The Jews then purified and restored and rededicated their temple on the 25th of Kislev, this current month, which typically falls in between Thanksgiving and Christmas on our solar calendars. And the word Hanukkah means dedication. However, the holiday of Hanukkah and its traditions like the menorah and the Hanukkah oil are not mentioned back then in none of the sources. 2 centuries later, the Jewish historian Josephus mentions Hanukkah, but none of the traditions associated with it. The Jewish Mishnah, the commentary on scripture recorded in the year 70 of the Common Era, doesn't describe the Hanukkah festival of lights either. The Christian Testament and the early church fathers also don't mention Hanukkah. So where did this festival of lights holiday come from when it started off to be a military victory of the Jews from Greek oppression and restoration of freedom of religion for the Jewish people? Jewish scholars posit that an ancient Jewish festival of lights, somehow associated with the pagan winter solstice, combined with Hanukkah after the destruction of the Jerusalem temple in the year 67 of the Common Era under the Romans. After the temple had once again been destroyed, the Jews desperately needed a new hope. After the Jews faced a new wave of exile and diaspora, the Jews needed a new source of hope. And so Hanukkah fulfilled that yearning for hope, that symbol for hope, that celebration for hope. It was a hope that was once achieved, a hope that was needed once again, and a hope that was possible once again. So the Hanukkah greeting becomes Banu Hoshesh Lagaresh. We have come to banish the darkness. This becomes a central theme of Hanukkah. We have come to banish the darkness of the wintertime, when we have short days and long dark nights. But we have also come to banish the darkness of oppression. We sing in the Hanukkah hymn, Muz Tzur, Rock of Ages. The time is nearing which shall see nations free, tyrants disappearing. Hanukkah, with its lights, embodies hope. Inspired by hope, the Maccabees liberated Jews from political and religious oppression, and they were able to celebrate their own lives and their own religion in their own homeland. Inspired by hope, we, Unitarian Universalists, seek to create, try to create, work to create a just and loving world for all. And inspired by hope, we, United Statesians, we choose life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all people in our country, for every single person in our country, including refugees, asylum seekers, and immigrants. Inspired by hope, Maria Corina Machado seeks democracy with justice and peace for her Venezuelan people. Beloveds, we're not waiting passively on some miracle to happen. We are working together by hope to make that miracle happen. May our hope be our guiding light for this season of lights. At Hanukkah, Jews sing the song, "Light one candle," with the refrain, "Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears." And I invite you to turn to a neighbor and say to them, "Don't let the light go out." Hope lights the Hanukkah candles. Hope keeps the Hanukkah candles burning. And hope changes the world for a better place for all people living in our world. Let's celebrate Hanukkah. Amen. So may it be.